And welcome to Education, Leadership, and Beyond, Surviving and Thriving. My name is Andrew Murata, host of the show, and good evening to everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Proud member of the Education Podcast Network, Voice Ed Radio Canada, wherever you're taking in your podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. It is Monday of Thanksgiving week. November 24th, 2025. So good evening. And I am rocking out some Baker Bulldogs gear. We are going to meet Superintendent Casey Halgarth from Baker City, Oregon. He is the superintendent there. I have been knocking on this guy's door for 2 years to get him on the podcast. And we finally got him tonight. I see him shaking his head in the back room there. But we're going to meet Casey. He's become a great friend. And what a beautiful place, Baker City, Oregon. What a great school district, great people there. So we'll meet Casey in a moment. First, a note from our sponsor, IXL. If you're an educator, you know IXL, but check them out. Their link is in the show notes. And here they are. I'd like to thank IXL for sponsoring today's podcast. Over 1 million teachers use IXL in their classroom every day. IXL is the most widely used online learning and teaching platform K through 12. It empowers schools with complete curriculum, thousands of instructional resources, robust reporting, assessment data, and more. It saves teachers a lot of valuable time with ready-made plans aligned to the standards and the textbooks. Built-in engagement tools like custom competitions make learning fun for students. And IXL's diagnostic is research proven to be a strong predictor of performance on standardized assessments. And the best part, everything I just mentioned is all integrated into one platform, so you can simplify your EdTech tools. Visit IXL.com to lead your students towards data-driven excellence today. The link is in the show notes. And again, appreciate IXL sponsoring today's podcast. All right. Again, welcome to the program. And again, it's Monday of Thanksgiving week. And we talk about being thankful. We talk about the things in our lives that we are grateful for. Well, I got 3 things for you here, Thanksgiving 2025. And I want to put it back out, right? We're receiving, we're going to meals, the holidays are starting, we receive. Well, here's 3 things that you can do for other people. It doesn't take any talent, it doesn't take any money, it doesn't take a lot of effort. So number 1 is ask the question, how can I help you? What is it that I can do for you? Ask the question. Number 2, offer a compliment, right? I went to Baker City schools, so many great things. It was easy to compliment people. And then I had a chance to see Joe Sanfilippo speak this year. And Joe not only said, offer the compliment, extend the compliment, right? I have told others, many others, what a great leader Casey Halgarth is. And that's extending the compliment. I've told Casey himself, but also extend the compliment to another party. And third is nominate somebody in your district, nominate somebody in your organization for that recognition, for that award, for that specialty recognition, right? If they're doing a good job, go ahead and nominate that person in 2026 or ending here in 2025. They deserve it. It's a little extra work on your part, but the reward of you doing that nomination is well worth it. So 3 things for you. How can I help? Offer that compliment and nominate somebody in your organization for that recognition. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Here he is from Baker City, Oregon. Welcome to the podcast. Casey, good evening.
How's it going, brother?
Good. Or should I say good afternoon? You're still below 5 o'clock Pacific time.
That's a great thing about being on the West Coast.
Yeah.
3 hours earlier.
Well, hey, welcome.
I want to say something, man. This 2 years stuff get me on. If people knew the truth to that, I'm not going to say, I'll let you say it out loud, but man, that is, I don't know. You got to explain some of that. So
yeah, and you're right. I have been teaching you about that, and but I overlooked having you on, so I'm glad we were able to do it here. And as I said, we've gotten
Yeah.
to know each other very well and have
It's all
become good
good.
friends. Yeah. And he's sick. We almost had to cancel tonight. You're just getting better. You're getting over a little cold here.
That's right. You know, when you're in the school districts, you're in a petri dish sometimes. So, you know, overload on vitamin C and meds. So I'm on the downhill slide of this though.
Well, get better for the holidays. I know you got your grandchild coming, your family coming. Casey, I mentioned Baker City, Oregon, but introduce yourself and tell those who are not familiar with Baker, where are you in Oregon, and a little bit about your school community.
Well, first off, Baker City, Oregon is in the best part of the state, in my opinion. We're on the eastern side of the state. Beautiful. We have high desert, we have mountain peaks, we have hunting, we have fishing, you know, and just a small, you know, we got rural, small town vibes. You know, people take care of each other, and you know, we do treat people like we'd want them to be treated. But yeah, we're right on I-84. We're probably 2 hours away from Boise. Just beautiful country out here. So blessed to be a Baker.
Yeah. Your second year there now as superintendent from Prairie City previously. Casey, tell me, you know, it's hard being the superintendent, right? There's always work to be done, always things. But from year one to year two, what are one or two things you're really pleased about, and maybe one or two things that you're still looking to grow in?
Yeah, I'd say, you know, the first thing I did when I got here was, you know, this is a bigger district from where I came from. So, you know, I really wanted to hone in on the leadership, kind of a top-down approach, and start building on some systems I thought needed to be worked on. And I just communicated out to they have a great leadership team. Our principals are top-notch, and they definitely know what they're doing and how they do it. We just had to get some alignment figured out. And so year two, you know, we got some of our expectations and priorities figured out with the strategic plan, and now we're moving into the alignment piece in our district. So we're getting aligned. We're starting to get some momentum. We're starting to flow, getting some wins. Yeah, and our like I said, our leadership team is just top notch. So, you know, my philosophy is with that is, you know, if we can build great leaders, our principals are top notch, and that's going to translate down into our teachers, and it's going to translate down into our kids' scores and who they are as humans, and it's just a trickle down effect, in my opinion. So working on that.
Yeah. Here's Principal Amanda Wild in the middle school. We got to spend some time together this fall. Beautiful middle school. I got to meet Iris. They were on the podcast there. But yes, your leadership team, great people there. Casey, how do you do that? Is it reports? Is it you going to the buildings? Is it meetings? How do you see the results that you're looking for, not only in your leaders, but in the schools? What are some ways that you can check accountability with the things that you're looking for?
One, like you just mentioned, a lot of that, what you just said, is communication. So, and at times I'm not the best communicator, and luckily when I'm not the best communicator, my leadership team steps up and they're starting to ask questions now. What do you mean by that? So that's what I appreciate about it. But yeah, I think it's a combination of both. You've got to one, I'm always working on being a good listener and being intentional with my listening, and then having something to say when it's time to say something and not interrupt people. But getting the reports, you know, having our meetings, and then of course I love getting into the buildings. But one thing I have learned is time is precious at this size of school. So I have 2 days designated to try to get into the schools. Some days, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I can get into the schools, and there's some days where I just can't. But that's the biggest difference from the small school to the big school right now. But yeah, communication is we're starting to get that intact, and I'm starting to become a little bit better at communicating, and they're already really good at it. So.
Well, one of the ways I see you communicating all the way over here on the East Coast is the superintendent's sneak peek. If you follow Casey on social media, he does a great job doing just that, giving you a look inside of things happening. Tell me about naming that. I love it. And then, you know, the communication that you're pushing out regarding Baker with the superintendent sneak peek.
What's funny, and I think you know this guy. So Vince Swaggerty he retired now. He was a superintendent.
Big
And
Ducks fan.
huge Ducks fan. Go Ducks, by the way. But he started a thing, a little, here and there, superintendent life. And I'm like, I call him out and said, hey, can I take a spin off of this? And he's like, yeah, go for it. And so I already knew what I wanted to do. So we kind of stole that a little bit for his idea. So I'm not taking that credit, but it's done. Like I said, I enjoy doing it because it does get me out in schools. It does show. What I try to do with it is highlight where I'm at and the work that they're doing in the schools. Because we have great teachers as well, and so they're doing amazing things. Our sports teams are good. I mean, but it's like a little humanizing of what the superintendent tendency is, but it also gives a little behind the scenes peek of what we're doing. And sometimes I'll do where I'm at conferences, kind of what I'm learning, or we're having a leadership meeting, leadership meeting, and just give a little behind the scenes access. And that's going to spin off. Thinking about maybe doing another book about some behind the scenes stuff that we do and get some other people involved in that. So yeah, it's fun, like I said, and it's not work if it's fun, right? So when you're having a good time, it doesn't feel like it's work. So
that's right. Well, check him out on social media. His name there, Hall Halgarth. I spelled it wrong somewhere, Casey.
Yeah, you're always spelling it wrong, man, or pronouncing it wrong. I don't know what's going on. No, it's 2 L's, not 1 L. So Hallway Garth Brooks, man. That's easy.
There we go. We'll check them out on social media there. Again, Baker City, Oregon, and Casey mentioned it. It is a gorgeous community. That Main Street there, it's just it is. It looks like a movie set sometimes. But Casey, you mentioned visiting the schools, and you try to do it often. When you walk in, what are some things that you want to see? That you want to see happening as superintendent, that you're proud to show off, but right away you're like, oh yeah. What are some things that you want to see when you walk into a building?
Yeah. I think I got this from one of your stories from when I was at my other school. When I walk in, I want it to look clean. I want it to smell clean. That's my first impressions, I think are very important. Next is when the secretaries, the parents, or whoever's coming up to the desk where the secretary is, I want them warm and welcoming, which all of our secretaries nail it every time. And then when I go into the classrooms or I'm walking down the hallways, I want to see some kids with smiles on their faces. I want to see some learning. I want to see some energy. I want to see. I mean, I went into it's called Brooklyn Elementary, 1st through 3rd grade. They're doing this program called ECRI, and for the teachers to learn this in less than a year is amazing in itself. But the transition of what the kids are learning, the scores that we're seeing produced from this is amazing, by the way, all uphill trends. But the intentionality, the energy in the room, it's a nonstop action. Let's go. We're moving along. There's no time for kids to pick on each other. I mean, like, it's intense. And when you walk into a classroom like that, I leave with a little pep in my step. I'm like, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Let's go, man. Let's go to the next one. What is it gonna look like, right? So, yeah, I want to see some energy when I'm going in the schools. I want it to be inviting to people, and I want people. It's funny because when I brought this up about, because you told the story about, I think, the Notre Dame story where you walk in and there's greeting, right? And so this is where I kind of got it based off. And so we're talking to the high school principal's kind of a jokester sometimes. Love that guy. But he's like, hey, when Casey comes in, we want you to over-welcome him, the secretary. So I walk in and it's just like, hello, Grandmaster. Hello. I'm like, oh my God. And so they play with it. But the vibe is good. Like I said, and we're starting to get some momentum here. It's fun. It's so much fun right now.
Yeah. Baker City Schools, home of the Bulldogs. The purple, they got a purple track. I love that. You and I had a chance to spend some time there. But Casey, you and I have also had the chance to spend some time at conferences. We've walked a lot together, different places. Chicago, we had a good time there. Thinking about moving forward in 2026, whether they're at school, whether they're in your personal life, you're a grandfather now. What are some things that you are looking to add to your routine, to add to 2026? I don't want to say a resolution, but maybe looking at your habits as a leader, again, in school or in your personal life. What are some things that you're looking at towards 2026?
So are you talking about like routines like I do in the morning, or are you talking about just overall like a goal? Or
it's open for you. Anything you're looking to add, change, grow in 2026, all of that.
Yeah. So I think as leaders, you asked me this when I was in high school that, I'd be a lifelong learner. That was the least of, I'm like, I'm done with high school. I'm going to college. I'm done really pouring into it kind of. But as you get older and you start to mature a little bit, you learn real fast that no matter what, you're always going to be a lifelong learner. And so I've kind of taken that to heart, trying to, my goal is I'm on track to get my graduate in June with my doctorate. And in superintendent longevity is what it's about. And it's about focuses on through all this stuff that superintendents have to go through. Why do you stay in the game? Why do you stay in the profession? Because there's a lot of muck that you got to go through. Either it's from, district-wide, community-wide, statewide. I have some superintendents that are going through some stuff right now, and it's just like, but they're staying in it, right? And so it's going to be about why they stay in, what keeps them going. So excited about that. That's one of my goals. The other thing is making more time for my family. All my two boys are starting their own families, and so spending more time with them and intentional time, not just turn the phone. This weekend, I had 1,000,001 texts and emails and all that, but I turned the phone off Saturday and Sunday. Man, I'm like, they want to get a hold of me. They come knock on my door. I need to spend some time with my family, and because that's what's important, and that's what keeps you healthy. So, yeah.
Beautiful stuff there. Good luck with the grandkids and the doctorate too. Dr. Halgarth sounds pretty good. And also 2026, writing. You've been doing a lot of writing. You and I text early here on the East Coast, so that's super early for you. But I know you're up writing. I know you're up reading. Here's our friend Eric Nichols. Spent some time at Wide Open Spaces, different conferences together. But you and Eric are working on a project together. Can you give us a sneak peek of that, Casey?
First, we want to address Eric as the almighty Dr. Nichols, because the thing that just kind of, I'm so competitive. He got his doctorate a year ahead of me, and I'm just like, gosh darn it, am I ever gonna beat this guy? This guy, 4-time state champion basketball coach. Who does that? 2 losses in 4 years or something crazy, And he's like, oh, it's no big deal. And I'm like, okay, whatever, man. So, but yeah, the book, right. It's called Unseen Strength, the Small Schools, Big Impact. It's funny. It should only took us maybe a year to write. And someone was really slow in writing. And it wasn't Dr. Nichols. So, but what's funny is we had a colleague of ours mention about me slowing up the game. Like, you're slowing it up, man. Our publisher's like, you're slowing it up. So that lit a fire. And so then I started just going, got my competitive juices going, and then we wrote, and then we met in Boise over the weekend, and it was nonstop, nothing but writing. And what was crazy is when we start flowing and we started getting stories going and talking, and then we think of other, it was just nonstop going. And I think we probably wrote, I'd say probably 30,000 words in a weekend. So
wow,
it was 2.5 days of just nonstop writing. And we were coming back because we got kicked out of our Airbnb. You had to leave at 11 or something. So we stop in Ontario, about 2 hours away, and he has his online school has a little building there. We stopped and wrote for another 2 or 3 hours. So
Wow.
yeah, no,
Wow.
it's great. You know, it's basically, it's about, you know, superintendent, small school, things that happen, things that you can do. I had a little excerpt in one of your books about grant writing. Talk a little bit more about that. Eric, you know, he's got some really cool stories about when he was a principal and then moving to another school. But it's basically just it's a building block on resilience for leadership, and how things sometimes have to, you know, small schools are very unique. I mean, and I'm sure it's across the country where there's sometimes where you got to get on a lawnmower and mow lawn. I mean, like, you've got to get the job done, or it's not going to get done. So we have a little bit of stories about that, and from my previous school, and then I have a few stories since I've been here in Baker as well. And yeah, it's just a good book about, you know, tells a little bit about my life, tells a little bit about Eric's life. And, you know, I know it's going to resonate with superintendents, big school, small school. There's some stuff in there that'll just resonate, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I've been through that. How'd you do it? And so they can read about it. So
Relatability. That book will be out in the fall, right? Fall of 2026.
Yep, that's the plan.
Okay. Casey, what'd you learn about yourself through that? Again, you're writing for your doctorate, you're writing for a book. With all that writing and reflection, what'd you learn about yourself?
Quit having excuses. I mean, that's honestly, man, like, you know, I have an excuse why I can't do it. Oh, I'm too busy with my doctorate. I'm too busy with, you know, so, but I learned, limit your excuses and just grind and get after it. But I also learned that once we got the book pushed into publishing, and we're saying, hey, we reread it, and we pushed it in, and now we're ready for publish. Yeah, the sense of accomplishment, but you also, it's like, you just did something that a lot of people haven't done. Like when you come to me, Andrew, and said, you should write a book. And then you're like, you and Eric should write a book. And I'm like, are you nuts? Like, I mean, like, that's kind of things. I mean, like, where I'm from, like a small town in Eastern Oregon here, those are things that just don't happen. Right. And so you put that little seed, you planted that seed, and then you get, and if your audience don't know you by now, man, you're the most persistent man I know. So you're like, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. And then we started doing it, and then we got it done finally. Now it's like, I know I can write another book. I know I can write another 10 books if I wanted to. So just that confidence instilled. I mean, that's a big part. You know, a lot of people, I know you're a motivational speaker, and I mean, we've been friends for, you know, 9 years, 7, 8, 9 years. And, you know, that's one thing that I do. I'm thankful and I'm very appreciative of you, Andrew, is like, you know, when we first met, it felt like there was a connection, right? And then, but at that one first moment I met you, I'm like, well, you know, he's going to come and do his thing, and then he's going to go away, and I'll never see him again at our school. And then, but you're not like that, you know? And so what I've learned from you is what you said in your opening: reach out, be a communicator. From San Filippo, like, extend that compliment, extend that invitation, extend that generosity. And so that's what I've been trying to pour more into my leadership skills and into the books and all that. So
yeah. And I found it inspiring. Here it is on a Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. I got a nice cup of coffee, and I hear a ding, and I look, and it's you with a little fire thing, and you were plugging away early in the morning, getting it done. And congratulations to you and Eric. We're excited for that book that's coming through the road in Darren Peppard, and so check that out there. Very cool, Casey. Casey, thinking about you again, your leadership. I mentioned early in the morning. You live in town where you're at. It's a small community. You're a morning person. You're up grinding. You're up moving. Talk to me about that morning routine and how that sets your day off on a good start as a leader.
Well, I can honestly tell you, I took probably, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 months off of kind of my routine, and just I get up early, but I would just kind of, I'd have a couple things I would do, but nothing intentional. And then it's probably past, I don't know, a couple months, maybe 3 months. I've really been intentional. Get up in the morning, read a little bit, something quiet. I'm in thought most of the time. I always think about the quote from the ESPY Awards from the NC State coach. I
Jim
can't remember his.
Valvano.
Yeah, Valvano. He's like, you should do three things in your day, every day. You should laugh, you should cry, and you should be in thought. And so I try to, and I heard that in high school, man. You know what I mean? So um, I try to be intentional with that. You need to be, I'm starting to work out a little bit more and walk a little bit more. And guess what? The energy's flowing, the brain waves are flowing. We're starting to get into the groove again. And so, but you gotta, I always say, like, you come to work early, you work late. And then when you start feeling that burnout, you got to take a break. And so that work-life balance is real. And, I know you walk every day. We walked in Chicago. That was a fun little walk, but it doesn't have to be a 2-hour walk. It can be a 20, 30-minute walk.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's intentional. And that's, I think that's the theme for me, is being intentional with things that I'm focused on. So.
Casey, you were intentional about becoming an educator. You came in from the workforce. You were working in construction. You were working in HVAC. What was that calling? What were you hearing in your mind, in the back of your head, saying, "Hey, man, I think I might want to go do this"? And now you're a school leader in a beautiful district, Baker, Oregon. But you're a life transfer into education. Tell me about that change in your life.
Yeah. When you go from industry to, into public education, I mean, it's a sacrifice, one, because, I'm making really good money. But what got me into it was, in the slow months, I would coach. So I'd coach boys basketball, girls basketball. And so when it was slow time of the year, so the coaching is what really got me into thinking, like, man, I love working with these kids, man, this is great. And then my kids started to grow up a little bit, missing T-ball games because I'm working out of town. And I said, I didn't want to be that dad, man. I didn't want to be that guy. And so I talked to my wife, which she made really good money, luckily. And she supported me for a couple of years going back to school. So I only had a couple of years left, and got my teaching education, become a 6th grade teacher at beautiful John Day, Oregon. And did that for 4 years. But I knew I didn't really know the system of being a principal or a superintendent. My goal wasn't to be a superintendent; it was a goal to be a principal. And I started taking some leadership classes. I think I had 2 leadership classes down when I applied for the superintendent/principal at Prairie City. And I'm like, yeah, I just want to see what it's about, what kind of questions. I don't really know much, which I didn't know anything about a budget. Didn't know anything about, crisis situations per se. And so I interviewed, but I nailed the character questions. And for some weird reason, they decided to offer me the job, and they gave me a shot. So I only taught for 4 years, which I loved every minute of. I coached every year as well. But I almost didn't take the job because I had an awesome basketball team. I think we're going to win state the next year. My wife's looking at me like, "Are you nuts? This is what you've been working your butt off for, right?" So, and that was really hard to tell the girls, that I was going to move on. And, but anyways, it gave me a shot, and then, knew nothing about superintendency or anything. So first guy I called was my high school principal, my football coach. And like, okay, you gotta get some networking going. And so basically started from ground zero. And I tell this story because at Prairie, I had to walk in. The first thing I saw was my superintendent. My office was, I had a plywood desk, a piece of plywood with 2x4s for legs. And I'm just like, okay, no one's going to take me serious here. So switch it out, look a little more professional. And you know what we did at Prairie and the stuff that, that school we did. And we did a lot of improvements and got that thing turned around there. And, and what was nice is like, you're getting recruited probably by third, fourth, fifth, sixth year. Third year, I was getting recruited a little bit. And, and I just said, no, we're not doing that. These guys gave me a shot. We've got a lot more to do here. And so that, and I think that right there goes a long ways when you're trying, if your heart's into it for that reason, and you're not just, I could have went and made more money somewhere else, but that wasn't the point. Right. So, but I got to the 6th year. I met a gentleman, Jerry Colonna. He helped us do some strategic plans at Prairie, and just a great friend. And I said, hey, how do you know when it's when? And he's like, well, you're talking about, so it's probably now. And so he helped me guide me through some schools that I was looking at, and Baker was 1, Crook County was 2, and thank God Baker offered me the job. I'm very appreciative of that. But I didn't, like I said, my experience, you learn from failures, and I know people have heard this probably on 100 Instagram posts or whatever, but it's true. If you don't fail, you're not going to learn. And you need to understand that failure is an opportunity to get better. And so I've really taken that to heart. And, Baker's been great. I've made mistakes here already, but, we take our lumps, we go back to the drawing board and try to fix what we made a mistake on. So they bought into that concept here. And like I said, it's just, we've got a lot of good momentum going on right now. So I'm very happy to be where I'm at.
Yeah. Carry the Baker flag is one of your mottos there. And you're doing it around the country. You're at conferences, and it really, that community's coming forward. So they're lucky to have you, and good for you for making that decision to go there. It certainly is working out. Casey, anything else you want to share while we're on here? I know I asked you a bunch of questions, but anything else you want to share?
Well, I wrote 4 pages of notes, but over prepared. But yes, we talked about earlier before we got on air, man. I don't want to forget this. Melina Worth, she's our ELL coordinator, and she helps with our migrant families and everything. And so she had a kidney transplant a year ago, and you met her, and so she sent me a message and just said, hey, tell Andrew that what she said, I'm completely healthy, no more remission drugs. But she wanted me to, and God, she's one of the sweetest, nicest people you'll ever meet. Heart of gold. I think she's retiring this year. I'm trying to talk her out of it, but I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, we're all very thankful that she's doing well, and so yeah, she wanted me to give it a shout out.
Yeah, very nice, and we bonded there. Spoke about my dad and his kidney transplant, and so God bless, and thank you for sharing that, Casey.
Yeah.
Friends, this is Casey Halgarth, Superintendent, Baker City. If you are watching live, jump in and say hello. Casey, it's Thanksgiving week. You got school tomorrow. You're off Wednesday. What's happening at the Halgarth household there? And football's on early then, right? In the Pacific Coast. That game's on at like 9 o'clock, right? In the morning?
Yeah. So just for reference, I get up on Saturday on purpose. I do my stuff early in the morning, and then I'm watching game day from 6 to 9. I do that all. There's sometimes I don't get to, but if I can religiously, I watch game day, man. I love that. I love college football.
A big week for Oregon last week.
Oh,
big win.
Yeah. And they're going to keep winning, man. You got to know that.
So,
I think we have 17, something like that, people come to our house, and all my kids and their families will be there, and then grandmas and grandpas and cousins and uncles and all that. So get to be blessed with the house full of kids, and they get to do a lot of the cooking. So hopefully I don't ruin that, but should be good.
You're doing the cooking.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
put a prime rib on the smoker and smoke it up, and then smoke up some hams and the fixins, mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, lots of pies. So we eat good, and but I'm trying to watch what I eat, so trying to be good, but it's hard, man. It's hard during the seasons.
Are you a timer, or you just kind of know when it's ready, or you have the timer and it's been on there 29 minutes and I got it?
When I'm cooking steaks, no timers, no anything. I can just tell and a little touch and see if it's medium rare, or well done or whatever. But when it comes to the big roast, I have a meat thermometer installed in. I have it on app on my phone. When that baby hits a certain temp, it's off, and we're wrapping it. And so we definitely go off of the temp with the little temp timer thing. So,
well, blessings to you and your family, and may you continue to have more grandchildren, in your journey with your family, and life is good for you. So I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Well, hey, I know this is your podcast, but what do you got going on for Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you. Casey, 50 years I've been going to the same place. My Aunt Marion's house, 80 Hannah Street, Staten Island, New York. My whole life I've been going, other than a couple of years I was at college. She hosted in her basement, 36 people this year. And it's a big Italian Thanksgiving. I mean, they got food on the table when you get there. Then they got the antipasto, and then there's the meatballs and pasta. I mean, you got to pace yourself. I mean, by the time you get to the turkey, it is a feast to say the least. There, it's not just a one meal. You're going all day.
I would love to be a fly on the Murata wall there, man. I would love to be a fly.
It's a major league operation.
Just to hear some of that. Yeah, that would be awesome.
I feel grateful to be there, and again, my whole life I've been there, and the seats change, people come and go, but we're blessed to continue that relationship. So thank you for asking, my friend.
Yeah, you bet, bro.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's get to rapid fire, Casey. This was fun. I appreciate your leadership, and I'm looking forward to 2026 and the good things, the book, and all the good things happening to your district there. So here we go. Rapid fire. You ready?
You know it.
Here we go. Last movie you saw?
3 nights ago, Nacho Libre.
Okay. Good. I know you got a big concert coming up here. What's the last concert you went to?
Zach Brown Band in Denver. Yeah. That's about a year ago.
Nice. Yeah. But you got another one coming, right?
Going to the one at the Sphere in Vegas here on December 6th. Yeah, wow, it's gonna be awesome.
Oh, that's good. I have heard that Sphere is just incredible there. So that's
should
awesome.
Be a hoot. Going with some good friends. Going with some really good friends of ours too. So it's gonna be a hoot.
Enjoy that. Last song you sang out loud in the car?
Free Fallin', Tom Petty.
Ooh. That is an out loud song in the car.
It is.
Get the windows open?
I can sing it. Yeah, windows open, definitely. Even though it's 44 degrees here, man. I can kill it in the shower, though, man. I think I can go pro in singing.
You mentioned about Thanksgiving. You and I have broken bread together a couple times. The Italian restaurant in Chicago was great. But what's your favorite dish? What's your go-to dish?
It'd be my wife's enchiladas, and then if that's not available, we have a great bakery in town called Sweet Wife, and if you go in there and have their chocolate chip cookies, they sprinkle this awesome chunky salt on it. I mean, these cookies they're this round. I mean, they're huge and they're so good, man. So that's my go-to when I want to have a cheat day for sure.
Yeah. Well, the Mexican place in town was very good too.
Man, the service there is outstanding. And the food's great.
I hurt my arm. That margarita was so big I hurt myself. It's true.
That's right.
Casey, we talk off air, wellness and all that, but what's your go-to stress reliever? Yeah,
when I'm at school and I'm here working during the day, if I can If I'm stressed out, man, I go to a school, go outside and play with the kids on recess. That's kind of gets my mind off of things, just clear the slate. Because those little kids, man, they don't have no problems. How do I get up the slide? You know what I mean? So messing around with these little kids. So I'm a kid at heart. I just told you about a thing we did at Keating today. Went out for a Thanksgiving feast, a little 25 2-room schoolhouse 20 miles outside of town, 25 kids. And those kids acted like they've known me forever. We're playing dodgeball. And I can tell you, I mean, I don't have to tell you who won. Let's just put it that way. That's right. Those kids
couple Band-Aids in the nurse's office down at Keating.
Yeah, there's kids out there that have some guns, though, man. They can throw the ball pretty hard, too. So it was fun, though. Had a blast.
I love it. In 2025, I have fill in the blank.
I would say, been intentional about being a better leader, growing every day, trying to learn something new. And then when you get downtrodden, you have a couple losses or failures, don't get down on yourself. Just keep grinding.
In 2025, I have stopped
worrying about the uncontrollables.
Yeah. So many out there.
Yeah.
So many. Casey, what's a pet peeve of yours?
Negativity without a solution. Yeah.
Just complaining, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I usually when that comes in through my door, I'm asking, let's restart and think how we can make this better. We need to be forward thinking and how to make the school better, the district better. So, yeah.
Casey, you shared about your start as a superintendent, and that was so many years ago. You're a veteran now. What's your advice to all the new superintendents out there?
So I got this advice given to me. So one is, it's easy to have an ego. Lay it down. Be at eye level with people. Talk at their level. You're no better than anybody else. Have your resume ready to go. Keep it current because you don't know when your time is done. You could die. You could get fired anytime, right? So, the other piece of advice that ties into that is with the ego pieces, you should be willing to train your replacement with intentionality. You should be, because that's what's best for the district. Because if something does happen, time's going to go on no matter what. So you've got to be intentional and put the district in the best shape you can.
That's a great answer, my friend. What's one thing you're curious about?
One thing I'm curious about. I would say that's a good question. Just continuing on trying to think about how to make superintendents and principals and leadership better at their craft. And, like I said earlier, the superintendent's life expectancy in the profession in Oregon is 2.67 years.
Wow.
So we have so many superintendent turnovers, and better than anybody, in order to build a team, have some consistency and start getting some winning vibes going throughout your district, you've got to have a guy that's going to be there that shows consistency. You got a guy that's not going to leave or be gone in 2 or 3 years. You got to have somebody that's going to stay for a while. So that's the goal here for me. My wife absolutely loves Baker, man. She loves it. And that's icing on the cake for me because I already love it here too. So,
yeah. Well, I know she was in your ear there, to going towards there. And hey, it worked out,
Yeah.
It worked out for sure. Beautiful. Something about Casey Halgarth that people do not know about other than you got 2 L's in your name. I'm sorry, my friend.
I would say my staff, they know that here, principals, same now. But if you don't know me, I would say I'm a prank guy. I love pulling pranks. I'm the guy that's going to hide behind the corner, scare you to get a reaction out of you. Love Halloween. Love having a good time. I think that's what
Darth Vader, right? Darth Vader.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think I was Thor last year. I mean, you got to keep it light and you got to keep it, sometimes people are going to be like, oh my God, that's so immature and that's not professional. But guess what? If it's making somebody smile, it's worth it, especially in our office, especially our HR department, man. I have an awesome HR person, man, and she goes through some stuff. I'm just like, I don't know how you do it. I do not know how you do it. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Casey, this was great. Let's bring it home with a little drum roll here. How about a quote to end the show here?
Can I give two?
It's your show, man.
All right. So Walt Whitman, be curious, not judgmental. So I think that's so important with our culture to, if you're curious about people, even when I have conversations when people come in hot or they're upset, I sit there and I try to keep my composure, just wondering why they're so upset. Let them talk, get through it. And then my other one is, and this is the truth, everybody has a plan. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Mike Tyson said that. And I don't mean literally punch. He probably did. But I mean, when you get punched in the face with some hard stuff to do at your job, it's hard to have a plan. So, you've got to roll with the punches sometimes and just deal with it, grind and go through it and then learn from it. So those are the two ones that I love. I always go back to, and one's kind of, gentle and soft. The other one's like, you better get after it. So.
Casey Halgarth, soon to be Dr. Halgarth, Baker City, Oregon. Casey, this was fun, my friend. I appreciate you.
Man, I'm so blessed to be here. So blessed to be on your podcast, man. I mean, it took you 2 years to get me on, but we're not gonna mention that no more. So.
Well, we wish you happy Thanksgiving, friends. Casey and Eric's book is going to be out. Casey, one more time, the title, Unseen Strength.
Unseen Strength, yep. Small School, Big Impact. And Dr. Darren Peppard, our publisher, he's the one we're going through to publish it. And yeah, it should be out. And like I said, what a journey. And you planted the seed, brother. So appreciate you more than you know.
Yeah, well, you guys did the writing. We're excited for that. And certainly when the book comes back on, I know it was hard to get you here the first time, but hopefully I could get you back on a second time for the podcast. And we'll have you and Eric out there. One more round of applause. Casey Halgarth, friends. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We wish you the best. And check Casey out on social media. Just type his name in there. 2 L's. Casey, I'm sorry. And you'll see the superintendent's sneak peek there. Also on the website, Baker City, Oregon. So, Casey, thanks, brother.
You bet. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate you.
All right. Keep surviving and thriving, friends. Casey, stay on the line a sec. Have a good night, everyone.